It's your girl, Lady Mocha. You know I'm always going to pour you a cup of truth, and I'm always going to break you off a slice of knowledge. Good morning. Thank you all for stopping by to dine in with me this morning with your girl, Lady Mocha, your diva in knowledge, here at Cafe de Paris. What's good, everyone? Thank you all for stopping by to view my channel. And as promised, as I told all of you out there, I was going to do a 3-part series on is your relationship worth preserving, okay? I thought it was very imperative that I brought up this type of recipe, this type of topic, for the simple fact that there are so many people out here that are lost in their relationship, that are lost in their marriages. And there's so many people that are just not even really certain if their relationship is really worth fighting for. I mean, when do you know when is it time to move on? Or are you just being petty over something that could easily be worked out, you know? Well, I'm not sure what your individual what every individual is going through and what your personal problem in your relationship may be at the current moment, but I am here to do a 3-part series so that way you can have a slight indication as to decide if your relationship is even worth preserving or if it's time to move on, okay? So on that note, like I said, I left off yesterday as far as talking about cheating, okay? So that is what I'm going to be going into this morning. Today's recipe, today's topic is going to be cheating, okay? Because this is something, honey, I know everybody could just about relate to. Whether you was the one that did the cheating or whether you was the one that was cheated on. What I'm drinking this morning is called the Donut Shop Blend Coffee. And when I say this is a really good blend, it's pretty sweet. But it's not too sweet. It's just a little sweet, and it's strong, it's smooth, and it's a really good blend. It's like a medium roast. So if you guys ever get a chance, if you're a coffee drinker like me, I think the Donut Shop blend is something you would definitely like. It really goes perfect with donuts, a pastry, a cheesecake danish. It's a really good blend of coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker like me, it may be something you want to look into, okay? Yes. Alrighty, so we're going to get right to it, okay? Now, as I stated before, cheating is something that occurs so frequently, okay? Cheating is something that at least 8 out of 10 couples are going to experience at some point or another, all right? Now, what I plan on doing with this particular recipe is I am going to explain all the disadvantages of cheating and the advantages as far as to how cheating could either help your relationship or in many cases, in most cases, cheating could actually hurt your relationship, okay? So the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to be one-sided. I just don't want to give you reasons for why it's okay to accept cheating, but at the same time, I also want you to look and see that there's another side to it too, because believe it or not, in many cases, sometimes cheating has helped a lot of relationships become stronger. It has made a lot of people realize, you know, what they were out there searching for, looking for, they had it all the time. So believe it or not, and you know, it has helped some couples, and some couples have survived and gotten through it. Now, also understand that cheating is just a straight deal breaker for anybody. Once you cheat on them, that's it, they out, and I can respect that as well, okay? Because everybody has that zero tolerance, and believe me, I feel you. So my thing is, I'm just going to give you guys 2 different ways of looking at it, and based on the dynamics that I give to you guys through this recipe that I'm serving you today, it's on you from there to decide if this is a chance you want to take or if this is something you just feel more comfortable not even dealing with. So that is what I'm here to do, okay? I'm not trying to persuade you to stay. I'm not trying to persuade you to go. I'm just going to give you 2 different ways of looking at it, and then you as your own man or own woman have to decide from there if it's something even worth fighting for or getting through it, okay? So first off, let me start off by saying there's different levels of cheating, okay? There's different levels. Now, first and foremost, if you are in a committed relationship, it is best that you do not cheat on your significant other. Period. Point blank. If you're not happy, if you're miserable, if there's something you feel like you're lacking, do not take other people through your emotional roller coaster with your spouse. Don't bring a whole nother individual into the equation, because you could be bringing another person in that could add more problems to the problems you're already dealing with, okay? So while a lot of people think that cheating is a solution, it's actually just a whole nother gateway to a new set of problems, okay? So the best bet is to not cheat at all, okay? That will save and eliminate a whole lot of problems, all right? But let's be honest. We're in a world today where people are entertaining their flesh, okay? They're entertaining their flesh, and the bottom line is, when you entertain your flesh and you don't deal with things from a spiritual standpoint, you allow your human nature to basically regulate your feelings. This is what I mean by when we allow our nature to regulate our feelings. Basically, being a woman, if you're a woman still in the flesh, you're going to be attracted to other men. And the thing is, that's human nature. You're going to be attracted to the opposite sex. As a woman, you're going to see some fine ass men out there that are going to just really blow you away, okay? If you're a married woman or a single woman, you're going to always see a dude out there that's fine as hell, looks good, drives nice cars. It's human nature. You're going to be attracted to other men, okay? All right, same thing with you fellas. You're going to see beautiful women all over the world. You're going to see them in different sizes, shapes, colors, cultures. You're going to run into beautiful, attractive women from all walks of life. However, if you have a relationship, you're supposed to have that spiritual discipline as to not allow your flesh to get the best of you, to where you're entertaining these women knowing you're in a committed relationship, and next thing you notice, cheating, it starts off with small supplements. Nobody just jumps in the bed together. Some cases it happens, but most of the time it's things that have led up to it. You're hanging out with this person on the job a little too much. Y'all are not just hanging out, during conference meetings and employee meetings and things of that nature. Y'all are actually meeting outside of the job, having dinners together, having lunches together. When you start spending a lot of quality time with the opposite sex, it's just human nature that at some point in time, especially if you're both attractive individuals, at some point in time, you slowly but surely, you're going to build some type of connection, and you have to be very careful with that. And especially if both of you are in a lonely space, like one of you could be in a relationship but you're feeling lonely, and the other one could be single and not have a relationship. It's just all type of dynamics that causes people to cheat and bring people together, okay? And it's all type of circumstances. Now keep in mind, like I said, there are all types of levels to cheating, okay? One of the levels I want to discuss is this one I would like to call basically, it's a word for it. Let me make sure. It's called opportunity cheating, okay? All right, this is what I mean by opportunity cheating, meaning that you did not wake up one morning and just say, I'm going to go out and cheat on my husband, I'm going to cheat on my wife, okay? Basically, it was something that happened. Now, keep in mind, I would never condone cheating, because there's no such thing as something just happened. You knew what you was doing when you did it, okay? Alrighty, so we're not going to make any excuses. We're not going to condone cheating, okay? But I'm trying to just give you a different dynamic of the different types of cheating, okay? An opportunist cheater, meaning that one night you decide to go out with your homeboys. There's nothing really necessarily wrong on the home front, or y'all having some problems, but it's nothing major, things that y'all haven't already gone through. And you just so happen went out with your boys, or you went out with your girls, you had too many drinks, you smoked a little too much weed, and basically somebody caught you off guard at a vulnerable moment when you wasn't in your right state of mind, meaning that you was conscious, but at the same time, your drug usage, your alcohol usage impaired your judgment, meaning that basically you put yourself in a very vulnerable position, knowing you was drinking, knowing you was too high. Instead you carrying your ass home and having a designated driver take you home. You know, sometimes drinking and drugs affects everybody differently. I know for me, when I drink, I get very goofy. You know, that's how alcohol affects me. I get very goofy. On the other hand, you have some people that it just really provokes their sexual peak. You get some good women who really get horny, drinking too much wine. You get some guys, you know, that get a hard on or whatever, smoking too much weed. You know, drugs have basically, whenever it comes to substance abuse or alcohol abuse or drug use, you are not in your right state of mind, meaning that anything is up for grabs because you're not in the position to really control your way of thinking. So what happens is, when we get in situations like this, anything can happen. You know, you had one too many. Next thing you notice, many of us have been there. I mean, I've been blessed where I haven't woken up in a room, been so drunk and passed out with one stiletto missing, and 8, 9 men passed out in the same hotel room with me. I'm fortunate. I was blessed where I've been in situations where I did have a little too much to drink, and God just spared me and covered me. But men could have taken advantage of me. I put myself in some very compromising situations, and I thank God for just covering me. But a lot of us haven't gotten out lucky. Some of y'all have been there. You know, you woke up and find yourself in the bed with this damn stranger. You don't know what the hell happened. Now you got to go home and explain to your wife or your husband where you been at all night. You know, you waking up in this damn in the back seat of somebody goddamn 89 Honda. You're waking up in some damn Roach Motel with some 400-pound wildebeest looking broad. You know, when you was high, she looked like Beyonce, but now you know, now that high done wore off, you don't realize you wasn't with no Beyonce, you was with a goddamn quarterback. I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of people, you know, they don't want to talk about stuff like this, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of people that have got themselves in a situation just by not taking the proper precautions, okay? So this is what I mean by opportunist cheating, meaning that this wasn't something that they went out and was dealing with this person for a long time, or seen this person for a long time. This wasn't even a fling. This was a one-time type of thing that kind of happened just based on the fact that, you know, they allow drug use or abuse or whatever to impair their judgment, basically. So this wasn't something, like I said, that's been going on. Now, if this happens too many times, meaning every time that person get drunk, every time that person get high, okay, well, not only are you dealing with a weed head and an alcoholic, you may be dealing with a goddamn sex fiend too. So those are 3 deadly combinations. If that person has all of those, it's going to be hard to conquer that coming from him or her. But in these situations like this, you could take it either or. You know what I mean? But this type of cheating is not as much of a threat compared to the other ones that I'm getting ready to mention to you, okay? So the other 2 that I'm getting ready to mention to you. So this type of cheating is low risk, meaning that this person just doesn't have it in them to just straight damn cheat. But unfortunately, they put themselves in situations. If you know you are a person, you cannot handle your liquor, you cannot handle your weed, then you're going to need some counseling, you're going to need some therapy, some real psychiatric help. Because if you're that vulnerable or you're that loose when it comes to drinking and using alcohol and smoking weed, then you're going to put yourself in a very bad situation, because you're going to end up catching diseases from somebody, you're going to get somebody pregnant, you're going to put yourself in a very bad predicament. So if God spared you and you was in a situation like that, and you're fortunate to have a spouse that still is willing to deal with you and work with you, the least you can do is get you some psychological help and get you some enroll in AAA Alcohol Anonymous programs or something. Because if this happens too many times, it's no longer a mistake. Now it's a problem, it's an issue. So again, an opportunist cheater is not that much of a risk, because this person doesn't just go out looking for it. But the problem is they are indulging in things that puts them in positions where they end up getting in those type of situations. Okay, that this is kind of a low risk. Now the second one is, now this one is kind of a high risk. This is an actual fling. Okay, all right, meaning that this type of cheater, this wasn't thing that just happened one time over a drink or two. This person has actually built a sexual connection, meaning that even though there's no emotions involved, that they are constantly, consistently having sex with this other individual. Okay, and in their mind, they don't think it's cheating because it's just sex. They think because you have some men who do this type of cheating, who figure it's not cheating because they don't love the woman, or they don't want to be with the woman. The woman is just good at sexually pleasing them, but supposedly they still love their wives or want to be with their wives, but they don't never want to leave their wives for this type of female. This is just basically an appetizer, just somebody who they can get to fulfill their little sexual appetite here and there. Now, keep in mind, this ain't just a man thing. You have some women that do this crap too. You have some women who have husbands that are good providers, that take care of home, but he may be a square in the bedroom. Okay, and unfortunately, you have some women out there that got a high sex drive. You got some women out there that got a high sex drive that'll wear a man out. While you got some men who think they pros at beating it and nobody can't wear them down. It's some females out here that have vaginas that are made of steel. Okay, I mean, they got Energizer Bunny in their ovaries. You know, they keep going and going and going and going and going. You can never give them enough to really sexually please them. You have some women out there with a high sex drive, and if her husband or her main dude is a square, of course, she will step outside her relationship or her marriage and go meet this Jody, some thug nigga, probably ain't no good or whatever, but he knows how to pound it out when it comes to the bedroom. She don't want him. She don't love him like that. She just likes the fact that he's able to do all the tricks and all of positions that she can't get her main dude that's probably a square in the bedroom to do. So she just likes the sexual adventurous part. Either way, it is still wrong. It is still cheating, because again, both of these individuals are in relationships. But what a lot of these types of cheaters have convinced themselves that because they don't love these people they are sexually involved with, it is not an affair. Okay, but it is an affair. The only difference is there's no emotional attachment. It's a physical attachment. Okay, meaning they don't want to be with that person. They don't love that person. It is just a physical act. That's the only involvement that they have. Okay, and this is good, but it's bad. And keep in mind, cheating is bad all the way around. I'm not gonna condone cheating, but I'm just breaking down the different dynamics of cheating. Okay, I don't want anybody on here thinking that I'm giving them the green light that cheating is acceptable, because I'm going to go into, as this video keeps unfolding, I'm going to break down all of the dynamics as to what makes cheating good and what makes cheating bad. Okay, but again, this is just a physical. The good thing about it is there's no emotional attachment, meaning that because there's no love, there's no plans to be together. This type of cheating, if you are strong enough, I'm not saying you weak, I'm not saying you smart, I'm not saying you dumb. Some of us are built to take more things than others are. Some of us ain't, but have a zero tolerance. Okay, I respect either one of you, okay. Basically, you know, the good part, like I said, the good part is there's no emotions. But the bad part is there's been a lot of physical involvement, which is still risky, because again, you're in a relationship, and for you to actually you know, put yourself in a position where you're sexually involved with someone else, you're putting yourself at risk, and you're definitely putting your spouse at risk. Even if you are using protection, it's still a very risky situation that you're bringing into your relationship that you're probably not going to be able to deal with, because there's a lot that can come out of it, okay? You know, things happen. Condoms break. You can still slip, and somebody can still slip and get pregnant. Somebody could slip and you can catch the package. I mean, and later on down the line, who's to say that person not going to get emotionally attached? You keep taking them to bed, especially women. You know, you keep taking a woman to bed, sooner or later, I don't care how hardcore she tries to act like she's okay with just going to bed with you, eventually some type of attachment is going to take place. So you have to be very careful. Now, the third type of cheating is not only sexually, but emotionally. Now, this is where a lot of men fault women at, is due to the simple fact that a lot of men feel like when they go out there and they cheat, it's a physical thing. They feel like their cheating is not as strong as women are, because when they cheat, they can screw 3, 4, 5, several women and not have any connection, not have any feelings, which in their mind, they think they're playing it safe that way because there's no emotional attachment, okay? Now, the reason why men have such a hard time when women cheat, because most of them feel like when a woman cheats, we had an emotional attachment. Because women, very rarely do we go out there and cheat physically, because a lot of us are not wired emotionally like men are. Very rarely can we physically get involved without getting emotionally involved. Now, keep in mind, there's some hardcore ass bras out there now who can screw you and not feel nothing. Don't want you to get up and leave the next morning. Don't want no parts of you. You got some females that are like that, but hell, that's like maybe only damn 2 out of 800. But that's not too often. But you do have some women, they just as hardcore as you men. That's all they want too, you know, because they already know that's how 10 you ain't no good. If you already got a wife at home and you let me get it every once in a while, hell, I don't want you like that either. You know what I'm saying? But I'll go ahead and take the sex, because that's all you the only toy I got to play with right now, you know. So you have some women out there who really just don't care either. Again, this type of cheating is really dangerous, because not only is there physical acts involved, there's an emotional attachment, and emotion is worse than physical, because once somebody has become emotionally drawn to you, and you've become emotionally drawn to that person, feelings is not something you can wipe off. You can't. To me, this type of cheating is the most high risk, because now feelings involved, meaning that when your significant other messed around with that man or that woman, they actually fell in love with that man. They fell in love with that woman. They want to be with that man. They want to be with that woman. This is very scary, because the chances of staying in this situation, you can't do nothing with feelings. You know, and that's the thing. You can't never conquer those emotions once they start building it for somebody else, and that's a very risky situation. Once somebody start catching feelings, that's something you definitely don't want to consider really messing with, because now it takes the relationship to a whole nother level. Because now it's going to always be in the back of your mind. You know, this man, he's with me, but he really loved her. Or this woman, she's with me, but she really loved him. And it'll never, it's like a death. It's like a slow death to a relationship or a marriage. It will never be the same once you know your mate actually wanted to be with someone else. It's already bad enough when they screwed him and took him to bed. That's already bad. But now you tell him you love this woman, you love this man, you can see yourself being with them. That's a whole nother horse of another color, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we have those 3 different cheatings down pat, I told you about the opportunist cheating. It happened randomly, not something they planned, not something they kept going. Physical cheating, meaning that this man and this woman, they've been cheating and messing around outside their relationships only for the sex. No commitment, no emotional attachment. Then you have the emotionally attached cheaters, you know, who now it done got past sex. Now they actually love each other, they want to be with each other. That's a whole horse of another color, like I told y'all. So those are the 3 types of cheating, okay? Either way, and as I say before, cheating is effed up. It's really effed up. I would rather you leave that person than to take somebody through that emotional roller coaster and you mess around on them, you cheat on them, you lie to them, you deceive them. But that's really my intake with that. Now, we're going to go ahead and move forward. I'm going to tell you the good and I'm going to tell you the bad. Okay, first, let me start off with the bad, okay? Okay, all right. I had to warm up my coffee. Okay, we're going to go ahead and discuss the bad. Okay, the disadvantages of still remaining in a relationship when cheating has taken place, or when cheating has occurred within the relationship or the marriage. Okay, now, first off, I want to state, again, I'm not convincing anybody to stay. I'm not convincing anybody to go. I'm just proposing two different ways of looking at it, and you have to decide from there if this is something you feel you're capable of being able to handle or not. Okay, so like I said, I don't condone cheating, but unfortunately, we're not in a perfect world where everybody's going to do right 100% of the time. People are human. They make mistakes. They mess up. Some people learn, and some people just don't never learn. Some people don't want to grow and become a better companion. Some people want to be selfish, stuck in their ways. They want to keep doing what the hell they want to do. And unfortunately, if you're with this type of individual, you're going to find yourself very miserable in the years to come. Okay, so let's move right along. All right, I'm going to propose to you the bad things about remaining in a relationship once cheating has got involved. The first thing is there is a lack of trust. Okay, meaning that even if you decide, okay, that I'm going to be woman enough, and I'm not saying you less of a woman or more of a woman if you decide to stay or go, or you less of a man or more of a man, or however, what you go through doesn't define you as a man or a woman. Okay, it doesn't define your strength, it doesn't define your weaknesses. Okay, basically, trust is like money. It takes years to get, but seconds to lose. Okay, and the problem is, once cheating has occurred, you would never ever trust that person the same. You never will. It's going to always be in the back of your mind that, what is he doing? Who he with? He told me he was going to 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is only 10 minutes up the street. It's going on 30 minutes. Same thing. And same thing with you guys. Okay, yeah, she told me, you know, she had to stay after work. How I know she really stayed after work? How I know she still ain't messing with the same dude on the job that I caught her messing with? Trust is so important. It is so important. A lot of people slang that word around and not even understand how detrimental it is. Trust is everything. If you don't trust your companion, your relationship is almost, it's just a waste. It's a waste, because this person, you're going to expect, you're going to need to be able to know that you can count on them, and know that no matter what goes down, they have your best interests at heart. But when a person has betrayed you, it emotionally takes a toll on you, to the point it drives you crazy. It drives you insane. You find yourself being mad about stuff that you normally wouldn't even be mad about. I mean, for the average couple who didn't experience cheating, okay, if that man or that woman got off of work an hour late, they're not going to make it a big deal, because they trust their mates enough to know, okay, well, I know how his job is, I know how her job is, things happen, 9 times out of 10 they had to stay over or whatever. But for a couple who has experienced cheating, something so simple could really be blown out of proportion. If once a person has cheated on you, betrayed you, that 1 hour late could make a significant impact on you, to where you think they're an hour late because they're seeing somebody, they're sneaking a line to you again. You know, it's just never the same when trust has been broken, because it's hard to believe that person is not going to not do right by you again. And it's scary, and sometimes you feel like if you let your guard down, you only set yourself up to get burnt again. So this is the worst part about trust, that this is one thing that you have to consider if you decide to stay with someone that's cheating. Your trust level is going to constantly not be the same, and it's just going to and it's believe it or not, it takes years. It takes years to build back trust again. And I'm not going to say it's impossible, because the way I believe it, ladies and gentlemen, anything is possible. Only time something is not possible when it comes to death. When you die and leave this world, okay, that's the end. There's nothing you can do about that. But I'm a strong believer that I believe no matter how bad a situation is, you know, you can overcome it. It just depends on your level, your mentality, your maturity. I'm not saying you're so mature because you can deal with a cheater. You're such a big man. You're such a good woman. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that some of us have the tenacity to take a licking and keep on ticking and move forward, and not allow unpleasant situations to make us bitter, but make us better. So in some cases, trust can be rebuilt. It can be. If a lot of y'all, if y'all look at some of these couples who've been together for, talk to your grandmamas, talk to your granddaddies who done been together for 50, 60, 70 years. They will have some stories for you. You won't even believe Granddaddy Joe used to be a hoe. You wouldn't even believe it. Don't think because he's sitting back and forth in a rocking chair, and now he got to walk with a cane, and his hair more whiter than Santa Claus. Let me tell you something. Granddaddy Joe ain't always been old now, okay? He got some stories for you. If he's still in his right mind and he's capable of talking to you and telling you, he'll tell you, you know, he used to mess with Maybelline down the street, you know, back. This is nothing new. I mean, even our ancestors have cheated. Even in the Bible, Bathsheba and David have experienced cheating. I mean, this is nothing new. The Bible said this is nothing under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, I had to kick some spiritual, y'all. So this is the people who can tell you, who have been together for a long time. They have experienced things like this. Okay, Grandma Shirley can tell you. Okay, yeah, she's this church going lady now. She done found the Lord now, but she used to beat Granddaddy Joe down when he would come in the house 3, 4 in the morning. Okay, she wasn't always this old lady who was always wearing pearls and church dresses down to her knees. Okay, her and Granddaddy Joe used to get down. Okay, all right, they was young and dumb and selfish at one point in time, because I strongly believe that a lot of people, you know, when they first get in a relationship, you're still going to have a lot of selfish qualities, and I think it would be hypocritical for people to say, I've never been a selfish person. I've always put my lady needs first. I always put my man's needs first. No, at some point, especially when you were young, you into the relationship selfish, because it takes years to learn how to share and you know, not overstep boundaries. You don't know that coming into a relationship. So anybody that tells you, oh, I've never disrespected my man, it's hogwash, because you don't come into a relationship automatically knowing what to do, automatically knowing what's not crossing the line and what is crossing the line. It takes you to cross the line to learn when not to cross the line. You get what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense. You're not going to know what not to do until you F up and you do it. I mean, really, you know, because a relationship is a learning experience, okay? But people who've been together for a long time, they got some stories they can tell you. They got some things they can tell you that they have gone through. And 9 times out of 10, cheating has been something a lot of couples have experienced. So if they are still together, 9 times out of 10, they were able to find a way to get through it. And it took a lot of time. It took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of counseling. It took a lot of... It takes a lot, because what people don't understand is, especially for cheaters out there, the only way trust is going to build is going to take 2 things. No, 3 things. Number 1 is God, because you got to put him, he's first and foremost before anything. Make sure you have him as the glue in your marriage or your relationship. Secondly, time. And third, behavior. Those are the only 3 things you got in your favor when it comes to preserving a relationship after it has been damaged from cheating. Basically, that is going to take a lot of time. What people have to understand is, especially these people who have, especially for you individuals who have cheated, if you are the cheater, not the one cheated on, if you were the cheater, you cannot put a time frame on when a person should forgive you. Okay? You don't get to say, well, damn, that was 3 years ago. You not over it? It doesn't work that way. Especially if you've been out there for almost damn 10 years. I think the amount of time you've been out there, you should give that person double that to get past it. If you've been out there a year, you have to give that person 2-3 years to get past it. You cannot have been out there for a year, 5 years, and that person's supposed to get over it in 3 months. No, you don't have the right. You really, as a cheater, anybody who has cheated, the ball is no longer in your court. You don't get to decide how a person's supposed to feel about what you have done to them. You don't get to decide that, damn, it's been over 3 months, you still bringing her up, because that person is still hurt. You know, you have to realize cheating is very traumatizing. It's kind of like, I know everybody out here has someone who's been in a severe, anyone who has, is, for example, it's like anybody who has been in a severe car accident. If God bless you to still live through it and you're here to share that you have experienced it. Once you've gotten in a bad, severe car accident, even though you may have lived through it, it's going to be something, an impact that you're never going to forget. Okay, because it's something very traumatic and very traumatizing that has happened to you. So every time you pass that same street where that accident occurred, or you see a car similar to the car that hit you, or you see a car similar to the car you was driving at the time before it wrecked, it's going to always be something that'll trigger you, because that's what happens to traumatizing experiences. Trauma brings trigger. Okay, you have physical trauma and you have emotional trauma. And what happens with most relationships, especially when adultery or cheating has taken place, it has created an emotional trauma, meaning that now something is going to always be there to trigger your emotions. And basically, that is what happens. And that's why a lot of cheaters don't understand, well, damn, it's been almost 2-3 years and you're still mad, you're still in your feelings, because it's going to always be something there to remind you. And you cheaters out there, you have to understand, if you have betrayed your mate, that mate is not happy to deal with triggers. Because I know a lot of cheaters feel like, you know, my mate just gets a rise out of beating me down or bringing it up or reminding me about it. My mate just wants to keep throwing it in my face. And it's not always that. It's these triggers that keep happening and you have no control over it. You don't want to be sad. A person who's been cheated on doesn't like to be sad about it, doesn't want to keep being reminded of it, but it's that emotional trauma. It's like being in a car accident. It's going to always be something there that's going to remind you that that accident occurred in your life. And that's the same way it works with cheating. It's going to always be that emotional trigger. Okay, so now that we got that established, you know, trust is very imperative. If you don't have trust, you don't have nothing. Because it's going to be situations where you're going to need to know your mate has your back. You're going to want to make sure you could count on your mate. And the worst thing is to be with somebody who you can't trust. You can't trust with your heart. You can't trust with your money. You can't trust with your best interest. If you're in a relationship where you just know trust will never be able to be repaired, or you'll never be able to recover, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're better off going your separate ways, because you know, trust is very imperative. You need that. Without trust, your marriage is not going to survive, because the enemy is going to always be creeping in, and things are going to happen. Things are going to look out of alignment, but that's where trust comes in at. Because if you trust that person, every little thing y'all go through is not going to ruffle your feathers, because you're going to know that person has your best interests at heart, and you're going to know that person is doing right by you. But once a person has proven to you over and over and over again that they cannot be trusted, I don't see any hope for the both of you at that point. I'm gonna just be honest, because you have to have trust. And again, trust can be restored. Oh yeah, and the other thing I would bring up was behavior. Okay, meaning that, you know, if you have cheated, whatever it takes to make your mate comfortable with you again, you have to do it. Because action speak louder than words. Anybody can sit up there all day, baby, I learned my lesson, I'm never going to mess around again, or boo, I know he wasn't the right man for me, and I've learned my lesson, I'm not going to mess around on you again. That unless you can show it, you could preach all day long, but actions speak louder than words. Meaning that if you know your mate is uncomfortable with you coming home all time of night, you need to have your ass in the house at a certain time. If your mate doesn't trust you because you've been messing around on the job, if your mate wants to just pop up there, guess what? You can't do nothing about that. Basically, the ball is in your mate that you cheated on. The ball is in their court. You don't get to decide because you're the one that created the damage. You don't get to decide how it's going to be, what you're going to do, whatever rules and regulations your spouse lays down for you, and you should be grateful if that spouse is even willing to even still deal with you after you done betrayed with them. So because of that, you owe them. You owe them big, okay? You don't get to decide how things are going to be, okay? You're basically on probation. Like when you go on, like when you mess up and you do a crime and you go to court and you got to see the judge will put you on a probation period, meaning you got to pay fines, you got to check in with your probation officer because you violated the law and you don't prove that you cannot be trusted. So in order to gain your trust back, you have to follow the rules of the probation officer. And that's basically what it's like being the mate that cheated on your companion. You have to walk a thin line. But guess what? If you love them and you know you were really wrong, you wanted to work, you're not going to mind walking that thin line. You're not going to mind swimming through the whole ocean if that's what it's going to take to make that mate happy. And the thing about it is, whatever you do, keep doing it. Stay consistent. Don't do the right thing for like a year and then years over time you right back to your old ways. Because the worst thing about a relationship is when you finally get to a good point and y'all have made progress and you do one stupid thing that sets y'all all the way back to where y'all started from. Okay, because all these happy couples you see, believe me, every last one of them have gone through something. Just because they got a smile on their face and they holding hands and all of that, don't be deceived for a second that they haven't had to experience all type of trials and tribulations. What I notice about a lot of couples that are happy, they're not being phony. They're not being fake. That just means, Lord, we finally have, through all of what we have gone through, you know, we have survived it. We're still here. We're still making it. That's all it means. You know, you see any happy couples together, it's not because they didn't go through nothing. They're not happy because I'm so in love with my husband. I'm so in love with my wife because he never did me wrong. She never did me wrong. We always had a perfect relationship. That's not why couples are happy. The majority of couples that are happy are couples who have weathered the storms. Okay, who are finally at a better place. I know some women who have gone through all type of things with their husbands, cheating and messing around, all kind of stuff, and now she's so happy with her marriage because the man she used to have to fight and argue with, she no longer has that man anymore. He's finally a man that respects her. He appreciates her. He has matured. He has grown up. He realizes his wife has been the best thing that ever happened to him and all of that. So, you know, again, I'm digressing, but you have to trust is definitely going to be an issue once cheating has occurred. The next drawback about staying with somebody who has cheated on you is basically it takes a toll on your self-esteem because you're going to constantly be questioning, what was it he didn't see about me? What was it she didn't see about me? For them to have to go out there and step out there, was I not good enough? Did I not have everything he or she needed? And the thing is, 9 times out of 10, as much as we want to beat ourselves up, part of it may have been that, but that may be 10% of it. The other 90% is just straight damn selfishness. Okay, like I said yesterday, a lot of people want to come with all kind of excuses to justify their cheating. Well, you wasn't giving me enough sex, or you wasn't adventurous, or whatever. A lot of it is just selfishness. Okay, and a lot of it is just straight immaturity. Because again, like I tell people, relationships are for grown people. If you are still a child or you got a child mentality, do not get involved in a relationship. Relationships are only for grown folks. Okay, and that's the problem. We got too many children that are playing house with these relationships because they're not really being committed to one another. So that is that's a factor that you have to keep in mind, is that, you know, it does take a toll on your significant other's self-esteem once a person has been cheated on. The other disadvantages of staying with somebody that has been cheated on, that has cheated on you, is basically the other person that they were dealing with could bring problems into your life. You know, that it has happened in some cases. If you decide to be with somebody who has cheated on you, you still don't know the drawback as far as how it's going to come back and affect y'all down the line. Okay, I mean, even though he may be done, she may be done, now they're committed to you, now they want to be with you, but we don't know how this other person feels that they have been with in the process of being with you. Okay, this person could come back and retaliate on him, retaliate on you. It's all kind of things that can happen. There's a story of a woman named Carla Hughes. If y'all get a chance, YouTube the story. The lady was Carla Hughes, and the married man, or the soon-to-be married man that was having an affair with her, his name was Keon Pitts. Yeah, Keon Pitts. Okay, YouTube that story. I'm not going to go all into the details. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find it and I'm going to put a link. I'm not going to put it in my video because I don't need them copyrighting me and all this other crap. I'm going to put a link in there. And basically, he was, you know, he been with his wife, with his fiance. He was with his fiance for many, many years, and they were close to having a child, their first child together. And he was messing with this woman at his job, which was at a school. He was a coach and she was a teacher. The affair got hot and heavy. Basically, he was ready to exit the stage because he done already had slept with her so many times. He wanted to pull away from her, and she wasn't having that. So somehow, some way, she willed him back in one more time to go over there and see her. And what she did was, somehow, some way, she ended up going to the house to where his fiance was, and I think she hid in the garage or whatever the case was. And when the fiance, who was pregnant and expecting at the time, pulled in the driveway, she killed the woman. Okay, she killed her and killed the child, and basically she's doing life in prison. And Keon Pitts, the man that was dealing with this woman, from what I heard, he's now in another relationship with a whole nother woman. So I can only imagine the anger and the animosity that the lady who deceased, how her family feels like, okay, you got our daughter killed, messing around and dealing with this broad, and now here it is, you get to move on and still have a life, and our daughter is gone and our grandchild is gone. And the lady who killed his wife, she's the idiot because you're in prison now, so you still don't have them. And then you took a whole nother woman out along with her child, not realizing she was innocent to the situation. She didn't break your heart, he did. But what she did was, that's how a lot of women are. When a woman gets hurt, she don't care who she has to use in the process to prove a point. And what she did was, she killed his fiance and she killed his child because she knew how much that woman and that soon-to-be baby meant to him. So her thing was, okay, nigga, you think you gonna hurt me and get away with it? Okay, I got you, boo. I'ma take something you love since you use me. And that's what he did. And it's a messed up situation because 2 lives were taken that had nothing to do with it. And now this dummy is sitting in prison. So she still didn't have him. Okay, you did all of that for nothing. You know, and she's been trying to appeal, and of course, you know, the law wasn't having that. So again, that's the other drawback when you decide to be with somebody who has cheated on you. Hopefully, this person who they were dealing with moves the hell on and doesn't try to come back and retaliate or strike back. You know, it's very risky. You know, so that's just something to think about. You know, and the other thing you have to consider too is the cheater. If you have cheated, another problem you may have to face if you decide to still be with your spouse even after they accept you cheating on them, is that they may never get past it. And that'll be like constantly trying to prove yourself. You'll be trying to prove yourself for the rest of your life. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind, that some people never get past being betrayed. And they will taunt you for the rest of your life. They will constantly bring it up. They will constantly, you know, grill you about it. And unless you want to be put in a position of where you become a damn inmate, because that's basically what happens as a cheater. You become an inmate in prison, and your companion becomes your damn correctional officer. Where you at? What you doing? You can't go over here. You can't go over there. So this is the thing, cheaters. If you still decide to be with your significant other, you better be able to handle the fact that, you know, they are going to be riding your coattail for a long time, because people don't get past cheating right away. So these are some things you might want to consider, okay? So on that note, I think I'm going to go ahead from this point and pause, put a pump on the brakes, because I just mentioned to all of you all of the bad things as far as staying with someone who has cheated on you, okay? So we're going to pump the brakes, because the next part 3, I'm going to basically explain all of the good things that could possibly come out of cheating. I know that sounds hella crazy, like, Mocha, how could something good come out of cheating? No, once a cheater is always a cheater. Not necessarily. You know, I do believe there are some people who can mature, who do grow up and learn from their mistakes. There are some people who do. There are others who will never grow up, who will keep doing the same thing over and over and over. But you have to realize, the reason why I say this is because, think about it. We all are human. There's been things you have done that you probably promised yourself you would never do. And I'm not saying with just a relationship, because if you told yourself, I'll never cheat on my mate, I'll never so-and-so, and you never did, that's good. But what I'm saying is, I'm sure there has been times you told yourself you was not going to do something and you have done it. You know, you have slipped, you have made your mistakes, but your mistakes don't define you as a man or as a woman. Unfortunately, bad circumstances is how we grow. People don't grow from doing the right thing, okay? People grow from doing the wrong thing. That's how people learn, unfortunately. You know, and it's unsettling that sometimes the only way people learn is going to be at the expense of somebody else's pain. But that's kind of like, you know, being in the game, and you got to prove your loyalty to your gang. So you go out there and you shoot somebody, and that's not in your nature to go kill somebody. But at the point in time, you was in a situation where you had to prove, you know, your loyalty, or you had to prove your ego. You had to prove yourself. So you kill somebody, and here it is, you're in prison, you're in jail, and you're looking back and you're reflecting, and you realize, you know what, I took somebody's life just to prove that I was, you know, fit to be in the game that I can't even be a part of, really, because I'm locked up in here. Not only that, the same gang that I tried to prove myself to, they ain't put money on my books. They ain't came to see about me. They ain't got my back. I did all of that, and look where I'm at. And now I got all these regrets, because now I look back and I'm seeing and I'm reflecting on the decisions I made. And now I can't take it back. So my thing is, all of us have done something that we said that we never thought we would do. Okay, we never thought we would do. You know, we've been in situations where we did something out of our character. Okay, but does that make you a bad man? Does that make you a bad woman? Did you miss and get pregnant at a young age, and now you're a full-grown woman? You know better? Was you a young man that was always slinging your penis around between this woman and that woman, and now that you're a full-grown man, you realize that it's better to deal with just one woman so you don't have so many problems? In other words, all of us have messed up. All of us have fell short from grace, okay? And I'm not using this as an excuse, but some of us could get so uppity, and some of us act like we never made any mistakes, and then some of y'all have done the same thing. Y'all just got lucky, and y'all still feel like because y'all's situation didn't get exposed that you were just less guilty. You got some people out there who done messed around big time, and only because they didn't get caught, they feel like they got the room to sit up here and talk about everybody else who done got caught. Okay, yeah, he got this woman pregnant, or she got this man pregnant. The same thing could have happened to you. You didn't use no protection. That could have very well been you. You just got lucky. You dodged a bullet. A lot of people think they got all kind of room to judge and talk about people because their stuff ain't been exposed yet. And they done did the same thing and be sitting up there talking about, ooh, child, that couldn't have been me, honey. Or, man, that nigga, he weak, man. He weak, man, because if that would have been me, I would have been let them go. A lot of y'all been through the same thing. Y'all just been able to hide it better, honey. It's so much hypocrisy in this world till it's not even funny. But I am going to go ahead and end this video, and I'm going to continue with is your relationship worth preserving, part 3. I'm going to discuss all of the good things and that can come out of the most worst situations. You'll be surprised how blessings could come out of the most worst circumstances. Okay, so I'm going to have that part 3 uploaded for you guys. But in the meantime, in between time, if you would like to comment and let me know, have you been cheated on? How did it affect you? Have you cheated on somebody you really loved? What was it that you learned out of it? Did it make you a better man? Did it make you a better woman? Or are you just somebody all bets are off? Once you do me in, I'm done. I just want to get everybody's perspective on how they feel about cheating. Have you been cheated on? Have you did the cheating? Share your perspective from it, you know, because there's people out there who have been on one side of the fence or another, and sometimes people need hope. They need encouragement to feel like, okay, I messed up, but how can I make this right with my mate? Or my mate messed up and I love him, but I don't think I can ever trust him again. I don't think I can ever trust her again, you know, because you'll be surprised, only the strong survive, you know what I mean? But on that note, I want to thank all of you for tuning in and rocking out with your girl, me, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, here at Cafe de Paris. I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge. I will see you guys soon. Peace.
This is Dance Show Reunion, and we have here, who is this?
Fast Freddy.
Freddy is so fast. Let's do it, Freddy. Do a little something, Freddy. Freddy, you still got it, huh?
Trying to have it. God